Hello guys, welcome to day 14 of 60 Paisa, the 60-day program on Amazon by Indian Seller Academy. We have crossed yet another milestone. We are 2 weeks now into the training program and I'm so happy for each one of you who have been joining each and every day, trying to understand new concepts, trying to grow your learning and building and growing each and every day. I am Dave and I welcome you to day 14 where we are going to talk about Amazon fees. Now, Amazon fees is again a topic that I have got most number of questions from new sellers, for sellers who are starting out new on Amazon. But again, once you're experienced with the whole process, once you're experienced with the numbers, these would be the least significant things to you. Again, because they do not change a lot time to time. They do change slightly, but again, as an Amazon seller where your main focus should be on scaling up your business, these slight changes in the fee structure should not affect you, right? So that being said, as I mentioned, important for new sellers, not so important for existing sellers. Let's get started without wasting any time. Okay, so again, in terms of fee categories, there are 4 different types of fees, right? And how they are calculated as well in terms of Amazon India calculation process. So we have referral fees, we have closing fees, we have weight handling fees, which is nothing but the shipping fees, and the fulfillment fees. The fulfillment by FBA or easy ship, when Amazon does the fulfillment for you, how much does Amazon charge? So the first one is referral fee, and this is basis of the particular category in which you are selling your particular product, right? So it depends upon the product to product, and depending upon which product, the product that is depending upon the category of the product in which you are selling, you will be charged a particular fixed fee. Now this is mostly in terms of a percentage of your selling price on Amazon, right? So the average being 5% to 15%, with more inclination towards 10, 12 and 15%. Now in terms of closing fees, again this is a fixed fees based on the price range. So let's say if it's between 0 to 250 rupees, you might be charged 30, and 250 to 500 they have another range, and then depending upon that they have basically range. The last range is 1000 plus. So if your product is selling on Amazon for more than 1000 rupees, then there would be a fixed closing fee of around 30-40 rupees. So that's around in terms of closing fees. Now we'll come to weight handling fees, and this is nothing but the shipping fees. There are 2 metrics that come into picture here. First is the distance. So where are you trying to ship your product to, right? Whether it is in your same city, whether it is in your same regional zone, or whether it is in basically out of your regional zone, right? Not within your city, not within your state, and outside your regional zone. So that comes under national, pan India. Okay, so this is in terms of distance. And the other metric that comes into picture when we talk about weight handling fees or shipping fees is the volumetric weight of your product. Right, now we'll come to that when we go into much more detail. And the last type of fees is fulfillment fees. This only comes into picture in terms of FBA and easy ship, because that is where Amazon is involved in some or full of the fulfillment process, right? Self ship, it's totally you who are doing it, you as a seller who are doing it, so it does not matter. But for fulfillment by Amazon, where everything in terms of fulfillment is taken care, warehousing, packaging, storing, shipping, everything. In case of easy ship, only the shipping process is done by Amazon, the rest is still your own expenses. Okay, now as I said, we will not have a lot to cover in today's in terms of the deck. I'll straight away move to Amazon and screen share, and then show you the different pages which you would like to read in detail to understand and get a more in-depth understanding. Okay, so this is the one, and all you have to do is just search on Google Amazon India fee structure, or selling on Amazon fees, something like that, and you will be redirected to this page. The URL is sell.amazon.in, fees and pricing. Okay, now as I mentioned, we have 4 different types of fees: referral fees, closing fees, weight handling fees, and other fees. And again, on the basis of what metric they are charged, they have this information. Right, now let's straight get into the details. In terms of referral fees, as I mentioned, totally depends upon the particular category that you are selling in. It's a percentage of your selling price. So let's say we'll choose the most important categories. Baby one, I guess baby is mostly 8%. Yes, there you go. So if you see baby, if you see most of the products that you have with babies, it's mostly 8%, and then toys have 9.5, and then we have drones that are 10.5. Then again, if we go to the most common one, which is electronics, you will see a bit higher, here in terms of wire, electronic cables, they have 20%, camera accessory 11, and then we have desktops are 6.5, electronic accessories 17. So this is in terms of electronics. There's a broad category, so I'm not going to cover each and every one. Then we come to kitchen and home improvement, not fragrance, home improvement, and garden outdoor so these are mostly around 9, 10, 12, something like that, right? And again, when we go to home and kitchen, they will be ranging from 6 to 13, 14. So if you see here, large appliances we have 4.5, but normally it's starting with this, where we have like accessories of big products, and then we have tools, and then we have something like glassware and ceramic ware, and something around appliances. Okay, so again, as I said, it's very broad. You have to figure out your particular product category. How to figure that out, we will cover in the product research, but it's pretty straightforward. Go to a product that is already selling on Amazon, check its category, and that will be your category as well. Check if your product is sold by multiple competitors across multiple category, then there might be slight confusion as to which one to choose, but again, it's not very difficult to identify which category is the best suited one. Okay, now we spoke about the referral fees, fixed percentage of the select price. Now let's come to closing fees. And this is based on the price bracket that you are selling in, right? So as I mentioned, in case of 0 to 50 rupees, you have to pay 25. In case if it's more than 1000, then it's a fixed charging, fixed fees for 30. Now this is just for FBA, and if you remember from yesterday's session, we said that for FBA these fees are reduced. Now for 1000 rupees, if you check, it is 30 rupees, right? And if you go to self-ship, this fee that Amazon charges is almost twice the amount, right? Which is 60 rupees, like 59 rupees. And again, in case of easy ship, this is again 50 rupees. Now one thing to consider here, right? If you self ship and the cost price of the product is 0 to 250 rupees, the fixed closing fees is 6 rupees only, right? When you go to FBA, this one is 25. So that is something that you might want to consider. So in case if your product is a very small product, doesn't cost a lot, then doing a self ship will save you 20 bucks, and compared to doing it by Amazon, right? So again, because it's 250 rupees only, right? And 20 rupees means 10% of profit margin, right? So you are saving 10% of your profit margins if you are doing it yourself. So these are the things that you should look very closely. A lot of people will not talk about it. A lot of people do not even realize this. So make sure, that's why I come into picture. My duty is to give you all this information so that you are well prepared in advance, right? Again, if you ask me, my advice is always go with this bracket. Always sell your product worth rupees 10,000, worth more than 1000 rupees. Now again, another slight point that I would like to mention here is if you're doing FBA, right, and if the product cost is 999, you are good. You are only doing 15 rupees for the closing fees. But if you're saying okay, now 999 I'm getting a lot of sales, but my product cost is even higher, right? So let's try 1049. Now 1049 would not mean a huge difference for you. It will not mean a difference of 50 rupees, because as you increase, you're going into the next bracket and you are paying 15 rupees extra in terms of the closing fees, and then you're paying a little bit extra in terms of referral fees as well. So even though you're increasing the price by 50%, you will only get 20, 25, something like that. So make sure you keep this in mind as well. Keep these small things in mind. It will help you in the long run. Right now, in terms of weight handling fees, and again, this is where you have to think about the dimensions of the product, because in most cases it's the dimensions that matter rather than the actual weight, and I'll cover that as well. So weight handling or shipping fees is basically dependent upon two factors. As I mentioned, it is dependent upon the distance, and it is also dependent upon the weight and length and the volume of the product, right? So when you talk about the distance, there are three categories: local, regional, and national, right? Local is when it is intracity pickup and delivery. Amazon gets the product from their own warehouse within a particular city and then deliver it into the same city. Regional is basically Amazon has dedicated regions, so it can be a state, it can be a district. So these regions, if your product is outside the city but within this region, then again it comes into the regional bracket. And then outside of a particular region, you are under the national bracket. So fees are a bit higher for pan India or across India deliveries where you are going out of your state. Okay, now in terms of weight, right, there are two concepts here. First is the physical weight of the product, right, where it is like it can be 500 grams, it can be 2 kgs, it can be 1.5 kgs, right? So a cost can be computed on the basis of that. The other side of it is a volumetric weight where we calculate length, breadth, and height of the particular product in centimeters, and then we divide it by 5000. The formula is also mentioned somewhere here. We'll cover that, don't worry. So again, how do you classify a particular product, right? It is either standard or heavy bulky. Depending upon the volume, depending upon the size of the product, you can say it as a standard product or a heavy bulky product. Now this used to be much more, diversed some time back. They recently changed this. Now there are only two categories, either it's standard or it's heavy bulky. Now how do you say heavy bulky? If it's more than 22 kgs, and 22.5 kgs if it is heavy and bulky, otherwise it's standard, right? Now again, for standard size items, the minimum chargeable weight is 500 grams, right? So make sure that your product is basically, if it is in the border, right, like let's say for example your product is somewhere around 550 grams, then you can spend a little less on packaging, or maybe make the packaging material lighter so that it comes in the 500 bracket. That way you will save 20-30 rupees per product. So again, do check the weight of the product, do check if it is falling in a particular boundary, and then making slight tweaks in your product would save you a lot of money, right? And this is on a per product basis, so it definitely comes very handy. Okay, now as I mentioned, we have heavy bulky items which are basically more than 22.5 kgs, and small, anything that is less than this comes under the standard size. There are also dimensions allocated as well in terms of length, width and height. And in terms of weight, right, now you have to for standard size, right, because heavy is something that it's mostly big brands, television, monitors, tables and all those things. I'll talk of the most general use case, which is standard size. Now for this, for the first 500 grams, you will have to pay a fixed fees of 48 rupees, and anything beyond 500 grams, again they have divided it into brackets, so you will have to pay accordingly. It's mostly 21 rupees for the next 500 grams, and we'll cover the table as well. So this is the weight in terms, this is the calculation in terms of actual weight, right? Now Amazon will also do another calculation based upon the volumetric weight. So they will do length, breadth and height divided by 5000, which is your volumetric weight, and then they will calculate what is the cost in terms of volumetric weight. Now they will calculate the cost by volumetric weight, they will calculate the cost by actual weight, and whichever is higher, right, again whichever is higher, clearly mentioned here, that will be chosen. So there used to be some, yeah, so if you go here, you will see heavy and bulky items, and this is easy ship. This is for easy ship, where Amazon does the shipment for you. You will see that local is 38, 48 for regional, and 69 for the 69 for national. But if you remember, I mentioned yesterday, for FBA, for people who are doing FBA, they will get reduced shipping fees, which is, if you see here, it is 28, 38 and 59 compared to 38, 48 and 69. So 10 rupees per product you are saving on shipment. Now again, I'll go straight away to FBA, where you see for the first 500 grams you're paying, we'll talk about national, right? Okay, for the first 500 grams you'll go with 59 rupees, and then up to 1 kg for every 500 grams you will have to pay 26 rupees. Then for every 1 kg, after 1 kg, let's say your product is 3 kg, right? So you will be paid, what you will have to pay is 500 grams 59, then 26 rupees till you reach the 1 kg slot, and then for 2 kgs that are left out of the 3 kgs, you will have to pay 24 into 2. So you have to divide it into slots. The first 500 will be paid 59, the next 500 will be paid 26, and the next 2 kgs, depending upon each additional kg, they will be charged 24 into 2. So make sure you calculate it that way. Again, as I mentioned, in the long run it does not matter. These are small numbers, you should not worry about them a lot. Only in case you're lying in the particular boundary, then you can think about optimizing some aspect of your particular product. Maybe choose a lighter material, choose a lighter packaging, reduce some amount, take something out, and then you can get some benefit out of it. Okay, so that's in terms of shipment, in terms of weight and the dimensions of a particular product. So yeah, just keep in mind, it's not just the weight. A lot of time people say that, okay, my product weight was so much, but it's a small product, why I was charged so much? So it's either weight or it's the volumetric product. A lot of time people say, okay, my product was very light, but again the box size could be huge, and that is why they might be charging you a lot. So make sure whichever is higher of the volumetric weight or the actual weight, that is being considered. And the other fees are basically pick and pack fees, packaging fees, storage fees and removal fees. Now in terms of pick and pack fees, they have like mostly 10 rupees for standard, and then for heavy products they have 50 rupees. 10 rupees is pretty much minimal considering the time taken to pack each and every order, and taping and all those things. So 10 rupees is pretty much decent. Now in terms of storage fees, Amazon charges you 20 rupees per cubic foot. Now this is in terms of volume. So per cubic foot means 1 feet, and 1 feet into length, 1 feet into height, 1 feet into weight, and if that is the total volume occupied, they will charge 20 rupees per month. So basically if you're sending 100 units and they basically in total they, let's say, occupy 20 cubic feet, then you will be charged 20 into 20, which is 400 rupees per month. Again, this is a pretty decent storage fee, so that's a comfortable zone. You do not worry much about it. Now in terms of removable fees, where your product has been returned, and when your product gets returned, Amazon tries and sees if this product can be sold again. If it can be sold again, well and good. If it cannot be sold again, they will tag it as unfulfillable inventory. In that case, you should create a removal order, which is basically create a removal order to get your inventory back. Now to create a removal order, you are charged per product, right? So it does not matter if you're creating a removal order where you're getting 7-8 products all together. No, Amazon does not make it like that. For every product that you take out of Amazon's inventory, they charge you a shipping cost, and this is something that I do not very agree a lot, because at the end of the day, you can have 20 products in which are unfulfillable and you want to get all of them. Although it will be a one-time expense for Amazon in terms of shipping, but they will still charge you on the basis of every particular product. So it's their funda, and I'm completely fine if they want to keep it this way. It's just that something that I do not like about it so much, because my quantities are huge, so I have to pay 10 rupees on each particular product. So as you can see, if it is standard size product and you are doing standard shipping, which is taking around 15 days, they will take you 10 rupees per product. But if you want it within 5 days, then they will do an expedited shipping. You can specify that you want it at an expedited manner, and they will charge you 30 rupees per product. Okay, so that's all that I wanted to cover. Tomorrow we will talk about the importance of product research, and then we will also touch upon profitability, because again, a lot of times product research fails because we are not profitable, right? So make sure that you go through this as well. Tomorrow's lecture is very important. A few points that I missed and I wanted to cover as well was the fee schedule. You are paid every 7 days of your sales. So earlier it used to be 14 days. I guess I read the documents recently while creating the video, and now they have made it to 7 days for new sellers. In case you have a good sales history and you're an established seller, they can also bring it to 3 days and 1 day as well. So but for new beginners, it's 7 days. Now Amazon does keep a particular amount in reserve as well, so for the first payout you might have to wait a little bit longer till the reserve amount is achieved. Now in terms of cancellations, right, there are no charges in case of order that is cancelled by the customer if you are doing fulfillment by Amazon. However, in case you are doing self-shipped, then you will have to bear a lot of money in case you are cancelling an order that the customer has paid. That the customer has paid for. Amazon does not like if the seller is not willing to ship a particular product to a customer who has already paid for it. So as you can see here, you will be charged 100% of the referral fee, and if you remember, the referral fee is the percentages that we talk about: 8%, 12%, 5%. If it is cancelled before shipping, or if it is cancelled after shipping, like you will have to pay 150 rupees. It is not shipping, I guess it is something else. I will try to figure out what is ESD, but basically 100 to 150% of the referral fee is something that can be charged by Amazon to you in case you are doing it yourself, in case you are shipping the goods yourself, and you say that you are going to cancel the order for some reason or the other, you cannot ship the order, then Amazon will charge you this much amount of money. Then high volume listing fees is something that you do not have to worry about at the moment. It's only for more than 2 lakh, sorry, not 2 lakhs, 20 lakhs ASINs or 2 million ASINs. So I don't think anyone ever goes beyond that. And again, the other thing that you want to check is, in case you want to know detailed breakdown of your fees, you can go to this particular section on your Seller Center dashboard, go to payments, check under reports, you will have transactional view. So under reports, under payments. So reports is the tab, and within that you will have payments option. Go under transactional view, and there you will see each of the different breakdowns. So you will have all the breakdowns divided by referral fee, closing fees, shipment fees, as well as your FBA fees. Right now, again, this one is for business, and for business these fees are a bit cheaper. So if you see the referral fees for business compared to what we had for normal sellers is different. So if you're doing B2B orders, if you're selling quantities in bulk, then your referral fees will be a bit lesser. Now, that being said, I guess that is all what I wanted to cover. In case you want to check for a particular product what is the different fees that Amazon is charging, all you have to do is go to amazon.com or amazon.in, get their ASIN, right? And how do you calculate an ASIN is basically, if you scroll down to the description section, you will find something, a code like this, which says ASIN, and it will be a code starting with letter B. Now you take this ASIN, you copy paste it, and you will paste it in this particular toolkit, which is called Kitna Milega. Now I have done that, and you can see this is the same ASIN, and all you have to do is put in the cost of the product and put in the selling price of the product, and then click on calculate. This cost price is what is the cost price of the product for you, and the selling price is what are you going to pay, what are customers going to pay for this particular product. And when you click on calculate, it will calculate the